Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing great. I am Neha Rajvanshi and I welcome you all in today's class, that is English class of class 10th. So students, we are discussing our topic, that is letter writing. So in our examination, in the writing section, we will have one question in which we have to write one letter, and in today's video we will discuss formal letters. We will see the pattern, the structure, that how can we write formal letters. So we will see some of the example. Okay, so now let's begin our today's video. So here we are having one question. So first of all, let's read the question and let's try to understand that what are the things that we have to cover in our letter. So now we have to write this letter to the principal, and why? For cleanliness in school toilets, etc., and it will be a complaint letter. Okay, so it means we have to write one formal letter to our school principal. And why this is a formal letter? Because personal letters, or we can say informal letters, are the letters that are written to our family members, or we can say to our friends, but now we have to write this letter to our school principal. So this is the reason this is considered as a formal letter, and in this letter we have to use a very formal language. Okay, so now we have to write this letter to our school principal, and in that letter we have to complain about the cleanliness in school toilets. Okay, and now let's see the detailed question that is given to us. So let's read. Write a letter to the principal of your school bringing to his notice the need for cleanliness in the school toilets and classrooms. So yes, we have to cover these things in our letter. We have to write a complaint. Why? Because the school toilets and the school classroom, they are not at all clean, they are dirty. So we have to bring our principal's notice towards this side and give you suggestions for improvement, and at the same time in our letter we have to give some suggestions also, some advice also, that how this condition it can be improved. Okay, so we have to cover all these things and then we have to write one formal letter to our school principal. I hope the question is clear. All the things, all the points that we have to cover, these are clear, and now let's see that how can we write this formal letter. So first of all, we have to address to our school principal. So we are starting with the principal. Okay, next the name of the school was not given in our question, so we can use any school name here. So we are writing Jawaharlal Nehru Model School, Jaipur, and next we are writing the date. So we are writing September 15, 2022. Clear? Next we are addressing our principal as sir, and now we are starting our subject matter, or we can say the body of the letter. So let's see how can we write this letter. I beg to invite your kind attention to the need for cleanliness in the school toilets and classrooms. So because this is a formal letter, so we have to start our letter, we don't need to write any general sentence in the beginning of the letter, but we have to start our point. We have to start writing about the purpose, that what is the purpose of writing the letter. So in the first line we are writing this thing, that I beg to invite your kind attention. In this line you are having so many options. You can use anyone here, like you can also write in this manner, that I want to draw your kind attention. Okay, or you can say that with a lot of respect I want to say this thing, I want to convey this thing. So there are so many options, so you can choose any option, any line from these options. So here we are writing that I beg to invite your kind attention to the need for cleanliness and where in the school toilets and classrooms. So these are the details that were given to us in the questions. We are using the same details here. Next, it was said to notice their present condition. So the present condition of the toilets, the present condition of the school classroom, that is not at all good. They are not in a good condition. So because of this, the present condition, it is very sad. We are very much sad because of the present condition, because it is very bad. Next, they stink very badly. So now we have to give some details, that what is the problem with the present condition, why the toilets, why we are saying that toilets are not clean. So what is the condition that we have to describe, because we have to convince our school principal that the present condition is very bad. So here we have to give a little bit of detail about the present condition. So toilets में क्या क्या होगा जिसकी वजह से हम बोलेंगे that the condition is very bad. So that we can write here, so we can make some sentence regarding the present condition. So we are writing first of all that they stink very badly. Next, no one can use them without putting one's handkerchief on the nose. So because of the smell, because of the bad smell, and why bad smell is there, we have mentioned that they means school toilets, they stink very badly, and now because of this bad smell that is there in the toilets, no one can use the toilets without putting one's handkerchief on the nose. Water doesn't flow in them. Now the next problem we are coming to. So now the next problem is that water doesn't flow in them. So this is another common problem that all the school toilets they can have. Next, it stops at 2 or 3 places, giving out a foul smell. So because the drainage is not working properly, so because of this reason water stops at 2 or 3 places, and because of that this bad smell, this foul smell is there in the school toilets. The urine pots are broken. Next problem we are writing here that the urine pots they are also in a bad condition. Actually they are broken. Water taps do not function properly. Next we are writing about the water taps. So we are writing that water taps they are not functioning properly. Foul language is written on the walls. Yes, this is another problem that can have in a school. So we are writing that on the walls of the toilets there are foul language is written. It means something is written on the school wall that is not at all acceptable, that is not at all proper. Okay, so these are the problems. So we are writing these problems because we have to give details, because we are saying that the school toilets they are not clean. So we cannot write only this sentence that school toilets are not clean, so please do something to improve the condition. No, we have to give some details that what are the problems, what are the things that actually they are bothering us. So we are writing the details, we are giving the description here. Clear? Next, the condition of the classrooms is also not good. So in the question it was there that we have to talk about the toilets also, and we have to talk about the condition of the classrooms also. So in the beginning we have talked about the toilets, and now we are talking about the classroom. So now this is the reason we are changing the paragraph. So student, this is also very much important. When you are writing the letter, you have to be very careful that when you have to change the paragraph. So now we are moving towards classrooms. Now we are moving towards the condition of the classroom. So this is the reason we are changing the paragraph, and in the next paragraph we are writing that the condition of the classroom is also not good. And now again we have to give some description, again we have to give some details regarding the condition of the school classroom. So let's see how can we write. One can't write with chalk on the blackboard. So in the school there are blackboards. So classroom में मतलब क्या क्या चीज़ें होती हैं जिनको हम यहाँ मेंशन कर सकते हैं, जिनके बारे में हम कह सकते हैं कि दे आर नॉट वर्किंग प्रॉपरली, दे आर नॉट इन अ गुड कंडीशन. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी आर राइटिंग अबाउट द blackboard, and we are saying that blackboard are in a very poor condition, and because of that one cannot write with chalk on the blackboard. Next, in a few rooms the plaster has fallen off. Next problem that can be there in a school. So we are writing that in a few rooms the plaster of the walls that has fallen off. The furniture has not been polished or painted for long. Next problem. So we are mentioning furniture here. So obviously classroom में furniture भी होता है. So next problem we are writing about the furniture, and what is the problem? That the furniture has not been polished or painted for a very long time. Broken furniture presents an ugly look, and because of that now the furniture is a very poor condition. Now the furniture is a very bad condition, and this broken furniture presents a very ugly look. Cleanliness is a poor shape. So now after presenting all the problems, finally we are writing this thing that so finally we can say that cleanliness is a really poor shape in our school. Okay, so we have to present the present condition, that what are the problematic areas, what is the present scenario, that we have to write. Okay, because we have to actually convince our school principal that this thing is in a very bad shape, and yes, improvement is actually very much required here. So yes, we have to give all these details. And now finally we are writing, I request you to kindly see yourself these places. So we have to make this request. So finally we are writing this sentence, that I request you to kindly see yourself these places. So we are requesting to our principal that we have presented the situation, in front of you, but now finally we request you to please come in the classrooms, please come in the toilets and see all these things by yourself. This give a very bad impression to the outsider about the school. And yes, another very important line that we are writing here, that because of this present condition, because of the present scenario, our school is having a very bad impression, in the eyes of the outsiders. I request you to improve the situation at the earliest. And finally we are writing this thing, that I request you to improve the situation, and that too at the earliest. And finally thanking you, yours obediently. The name was not given in the question, so we can use any name here. So we are writing Manoj Kumar. Okay, so students, in this manner we can write one letter. So there are few things that you have to take care. First of all, because it's a formal letter, so the language of the letter, it should be very formal. Clear? Next, no unnecessary sentence should be there, but at the same time you have to give all the required details, all the required information regarding the point. Okay, so in this manner, and yes, a perfect ending should be there, perfect beginning should be there, the format of the letter, that should be appropriate, and the sentence that you can frame, that you can make by your own, and then you will be able to write a perfect letter. Okay, I hope this example is clear to you all. Next, moving on, we are having another example. So now let's see, against antisocial elements in the public park. So now we have to write one formal letter. Why? Because now in this letter we have to talk about antisocial elements that are there in the public park. So this is the topic, and now we are having a detailed question in front of us. So now let's read the question. Let's try to understand that what this letter is all about. The park in front of your house has been illegally occupied by some people. So now the problem that is given to us. So what is the problem? The problem is that in front of our house there is a park, and this park has been illegally occupied by some people. They have set up temporary dwelling units and are a security threat to the colony residents. And now the problem is that they means the people who are having illegal occupation there. So these people have set up temporary dwellings unit. Dwelling unit means their houses, their temporary homes they have made in the park, and now they are a security threat to the colony residents. Okay, so this is the problem. Now write a letter to the president of the Resident Welfare Association drawing his attention to this threat. And now finally we have to write a letter, and we have to address this letter to the president of the Residents Welfare Association, and in this letter we have to draw his attention towards this problem, or we can say towards this threat. Clear? Write the letter in about 100 to 150 words. So this is the problem that is given to us. All the details are given to us in the question. Okay, so I am repeating, I am summarizing all the things. The problem is that there is a park, or we can say public park is there in front of our house, and some people they have their temporary houses, and all those houses are illegal. Okay, and now they are actually antisocial people, and now they are as a security threat for the people or for the residents of this colony. This is the problem. We have to cover this problem, and we have to write the letter to the president of the Welfare Association, and we have to draw his attention towards this problem. Clear? So this is the question, this is the problem that is given to us, and we have to write one letter covering all these things. I hope question is clear. So now let's see how can we write one formal letter. So this is also considered as a formal letter. I hope the difference is clear now. What is formal, what is personal, right? So let's see how can we start. So first of all, we are writing the address. Address was not given in the question, so we can use any address here, but it should be in a proper manner and in a proper format. So let's see, we are writing 1250 sector 14 Ajmer, and next we are writing the date, that is March 3rd 2022. Next we have to address the president. So we are writing the president, Resident Welfare Association Ajmer. Clear? Next we are writing the subject. So subject, it is really very much helpful in the letters, because after reading the subject we can have one idea that what this letter is about, or we can say what is the purpose of writing this letter. So let's see how can we write the subject. So what is the subject? Subject is illegal occupation of public park. Clear? Next we are writing dear sir, and now we are framing all the sentence. So let's see how can we write. I wish to draw your attention to the ill use of the public park of sector 14. So in the beginning we are describing the problem, because it's a formal letter. So yes, the language should be very formal. So we are writing that I wish to draw your attention, we can write your kind attention also, to the ill use of the public park of sector 14. When it started 10 years ago, it was sight to watch, and now we have to present the problem. So we are starting with this sentence that when it means this public park. So when this public park, when it started and when 10 years ago. So when this public park, it was there 10 years ago. So at that time it was sight to watch. It means at that time it was very beautiful. It was very well maintained park. The children as well as the elders enjoyed being there every morning and evening, and at that time this park was so useful and for all the people, even children and the elders, they also enjoyed this park, and they used to go in this park in the morning time also and in the evening also. Some 2 years ago, some person made a temporary hut in a corner of the park and began to live there. And now we are coming to the problem. So first of all, we gave one basic introduction, right? And now we are coming to the problem. So the problem is that some 2 years ago. So now the present problem, it actually started 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, some person was there and he made a temporary hut in a corner of the park, and then he started to live there. And obviously it was illegal hut, it was illegal dwelling spot that he made there in the corner of the park. It was a desolate corner and nobody seemed to mind. But when he started to live there, when he made this temporary hut, so this hut was in a desolate corner of the park and no one was having any problem, no one was having any issue. So this was the reason that nobody seemed to mind that why he is living here, why he is making a hut here, because no one was having any problem actually. Gradually, the number of dwellers and the size of huts have increased, but the real problem started when gradually, slowly, the number of dwellers and the size of huts have increased. It means in the beginning there was only one person and he made only one hut in a desolate corner, but gradually there were other people also. He invited some more people. So this is the reason that the number of dwellers, number of people and the size of huts, they also increased. So now there was not only one person, but there were so many people who started to live there, and now obviously they were having so many huts there. Now some 10 persons with their children live there. So we are mentioning that how many people are there in the park right now. So we are writing that at present almost 10 persons, and that too with their children, they are living there. I once tried to tell them that they should vacate the place, and now we are writing that everyone is so much worried now because of this thing, and this was the reason that I once tried also to tell them that they should vacate the place, they should go away from our public park. In reply, they behaved very rudely. But what was their response? So we are writing that when we tried to make them understand that they should vacate the place, they should go away because it's a public park. So what was their response? In reply, they behaved very rudely, they behaved in a very bad manner. It is quite possible that they may be involved in some antisocial activities, and because of their behavior, now we are saying that it is very much possible that they may be involved in some antisocial activities. I am afraid that they are a threat to the colony residents. And finally, we are writing that we are very much afraid. Why? Because these people, they can be a threat to to the colony residents, because they are having very rude behavior, they behave in a very bad manner. So maybe they are involved in some antisocial activities, and this is the reason they are a threat, they are a security threat to towards the residents of this colony. I therefore request you to look into matter and restore the former glory of this park. And now finally we are we are placing our request, and we are writing that I therefore request you to look into this matter and restore the former glory of this park. Former glory that we have already mentioned in our letter, that earlier this park was very beautiful, it was well maintained, and children, adults, everyone used to go there. So now we are requesting this thing that the president, he should look into this matter, and he should solve the matter, and finally he should restore the former glory of this park that this park used to have. Okay, so it's a perfect letter. We have covered all the things here. We have presented the problem in a very perfect manner, that how the problem started, what is the problem, and why this problem is very much urgent, and why he should look into the matter, why he should sort all the things. And finally we are writing yours truly. The name was not given in the letter, so we can use any name. So we are writing B.L. Parikh. Clear? So in this manner we can write this letter. I hope this letter is also clear. Next, moving on, we are having one more example with us. So now let's see what this letter is about. So now we have to write to Municipal Commissioner for creating children's park. So now this formal letter we have to address to Municipal Commissioner, and why? In this letter we have to make one request, the request for creating children's park. Clear? So let's see the detailed question that is given to us. You are Varun Joshi. So now we are having our name. So we have to imagine that our name is Varun Joshi. We are the resident of Pandu Nagar, Udaipur. Next, your locality is overcrowded and the children need space to play. And now the problem is given to us. So the problem is that our locality is overcrowded and the children of our park, they need some space to play. Write a letter to the Municipal Commissioner, West Zone, Udaipur, requesting him that the space around be used for a park, for the children. So now we have to write a letter, and this letter we have to address to the Municipal Commissioner, West Zone, Udaipur. In the letter we have to request him, and we have to suggest also that there is some space around, and that space can be used for a park for the children. Clear? Question is clear. So now let's see how can we write this letter. So first of all we are writing the address. Address is 10 Pandu Nagar, Udaipur. Next we are writing the date. So I hope now this thing is clear, that first of all we have to write the address. Next we have to write the date. Okay, next we have to address municipal commissioner. So we are writing the municipal commissioner, West Zone Udaipur. So all these details were given to us in the question. So students, again I am repeating this thing. First of all, read the question very carefully, because you have to use all these details. If you are not using these details, you are writing the address by your own, and the address is there in the question, then definitely your marks, they will be deducted. Because if there is no address, no name, then you can use any address, any name. But if you are having the details in the question, then yes, you have to use the same details. So read the question very carefully, write all the details from the question only. Clear? Next we are writing the subject. So what is the subject? We can say what is the purpose of writing this letter. Subject is using the space for a park for the children. Okay. So we are addressing municipal commissioner as a sir, and now let's see how can we write this letter. I invite your kind attention to the fact that there is no children's park in our locality. So yes, in the beginning we are coming to the problem, we are coming to the purpose, that why we are writing the letter. So we are writing this line, that I invite your kind attention towards the fact that there is no children's park in our locality. The locality is in fact overcrowded, and yes, our locality is overcrowded. There are no open spaces for the children to play. So the problem is that locality is overcrowded and there is no open space, there is no space for the children where they can play. Children play in the streets and sometimes on the roadside. So now because of this thing, that there is no open space, there is no place for the kids, and the kids, the children, obviously they have to play. So now what they are doing? Now they are playing in the streets, and even sometimes they are playing on the roadsides. This can result and has resulted in accidents, and yes, it is not at all safe to play on the roadsides, to play in the streets. So we are writing this thing, that this means this habit, the habit that they are playing on the roadside, they are playing on the street. So this can result, and yes, it has resulted already in accidents. Okay. So due to this fact, there is a great need of more safe places to play. So now we are saying that due to this fact that there is no space, and because of this children are playing on the streets, they are playing on the roadside, and this is causing so many accidents. So because of this reason, we can say that there is a great need of more safe places to play. So students, this thing is clear. I hope that your letter, it should be convincing. You have to present the problem in such a manner that really it has to look very urgent, right? Because we have to convince the municipal commissioner about this thing, that how important a children's park is in our locality. So we have to give all the detail, all the required information. So we have to write these lines. Yes, these lines will not be there in the question obviously, but after reading the question, we have to grasp the meaning of the question. We have to get the idea that what we have to write in the letter, and our letter, yes, it has to be very convincing. Okay. Next, at present, only one open space exists inside the locality, and now we are giving our suggestion also. First of all, we have presented the problem. We have presented this thing that our locality actually needed a children's park, and now we are giving our suggestion also. So we are saying that at present one open space is there inside our locality. It can be used for this purpose. So we are giving the suggestion that this open space, it can be used for this purpose. This space can be used for making children's park. If this is developed into a children's park, it would solve the problem greatly. And if this space, if it will be developed into a children's park, then definitely this problem that they are playing on the roadside, they are playing in the street, this problem will be resolved. This problem will be definitely solved, because they are having no park, and in our locality there is a open space. So if that space will be developed into children's park, so definitely they will play there only. only, okay. Then they will have one safe space, one open space to play, so they will play there, and because of that this problem it will be solved. It would be a safe and good place for the children to play. So then obviously they will have a safe and good place, and that place is also inside the locality. So obviously it will be a very good place for the children to play. Clear? Now, in the circumstances, you are requested to visit the locality to assess yourself the whole situation. And now finally we are inviting the municipal commissioner, and we are saying that first of all we have presented all the situations, all the circumstances, and now we are requesting him to visit the locality so that he can see the space by himself, he can observe all the problems, okay. Kindly assess yourself the possibility and utility of converting this space into a children's park. So our we are inviting municipal commissioner to visit the locality and have a look to that open space, so that he can judge, he can observe all the possibilities that how that open space it can be converted into a children's park. The residents of this locality shall feel obliged to you for this. And now finally we are writing that if you will be helpful, if your acts will be helpful, and if you will convert that space into a children's park, then definitely all the residents of this locality, they will be very much obliged, they will be very much grateful for you because of your kind action. And now we are writing thanking you, yours faithfully. The name was given in the question, we are using the same name, we are writing Varun Joshi. Clear? So in this manner we can write such letters. I hope all the examples that we have seen, they are clear to you all. So yes, formal letter, it should be very formal. The language that you are writing, all the sentences that you are framing, they should be very formal. No unnecessary sentence should be there, but your letter has to be convincing. So you have to give all the required information, all the required details. Yes, and we can say that vocabulary should be very good. You can not repeat sentence again and again, and all the grammatical rules that tense should be there, and all the parts of speech should be there, structure of the sentence, sequence of the sentence, it should be in a perfect manner. So these are the basic rules that you have to follow, that you have to take care, and then finally you will be able to write a very good letter. Okay. So I hope this video is very much helpful to you all, and all the examples, all the questions that we have discussed, all the things that we have covered, everything is clear to you all. In the next video, we will continue with this topic. So just be with me and see you in the next video. Thank you.